Today's date 16th of the 11th 2014, Sunday night, and today on AXIOM Curve Radio I'm joined with guest Andy and Bok from Canada. We're going to be talking about random stuff that freely flows into our minds, and we're going to share them with you to gather your thoughts and opinions. So please do comment on the comment section on the YouTube and let us know what you think. So firstly, I'd like to talk about an article that I came across just a fair few minutes ago. Recep Tayyip Erdogan says Muslim sailors arrived in the Americas before Columbus. President of Turkey.
In 12th century? Really?
Were discovered by Muslims in the 12th century. 300 years before explorer Christopher Columbus. Oh wait, yeah, 1178.
Yeah, you do say
See, that's like saying those are the only people who had a boat. That whole hypothesis, like, style of thinking is so stupid. Like, people have been going back and forth forever, man. You know? Long time, man. From the time of Atlantis till now, we've been traveling around. At least.
Who were the greatest ones? Were they Polynesians?
There was, you guys heard about that guy? He made a ship made of reeds.
yeah, Ra-1 it's called.
Like the ocean boat?
Yeah, didn't he call the boat Ra-1 and Ra-2?
Yeah, and you know, he sailed everywhere, man. He proved that it could be done.
Yeah.
In a straw boat. Across oceans.
Do you know much about, is it Polynesians and Easter Island connection?
Yeah, well, you see, PJ, that's the thing. Polynesians have nothing to do with Easter Island.
They don't.
The same way the Aztecs and the Mayans have nothing to do with those pyramids in Peru.
Yeah.
The same way with the Egyptians today have nothing to do with those pyramids. It's all a mystery, man. Nobody in modern times had anything to do with those structures.
Well, it's not like if they actually had the pyramids and the people building them in hieroglyphs, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we're talking stuff that was done thousands of years ago, not hundreds. You know, I love when these people talk history. It's like, dude, you're not even talking BC. You're talking to me about something that happened in like 1200 AD or, you know, 500 AD. I'm like, you got to go back before, you know, at least go read your Greek history, buddy. That'll take you back to about 500 BC.
So where did you think the pyramids then, Bok? Is this pre-Sumerian times? Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yes and no. I believe some of them were. There were some newer ones that were built later.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm talking early Sumerian.
all the megalithic ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking Babylonian Sumerian.
They were built from the same people who were the Atlanteans. They were the people who traveled around, you know, and built all these various sites. And their history, and inside the Atlantean history, you know, they talk about their ancients, you know, their ancestors type thing, and or you know, there was people even before them. So some of that stuff is really old, and some of it, you know, like the Bosnian pyramid, for example, is somewhere between 50 and 70,000 years old.
Yeah. So the I think it...
And the stuff in South Africa, Michael Tellinger, that thing is like 250,000 years old. And I think so far that's the oldest landmark we've got.
Yeah.
And that kind of Sumerian and Egyptian history kind of, ties in with that.
Is the one in Japan, the underwater one, that's, what did they say that were, about 5,000 year old?
They're estimating that's also near the time of the Atlanteans.
Right.
Between 50 and 70,000 years ago. But one can only guess. It is below the ocean. And then in the old Hindu India scriptures, the Vedas, they talk about a lost city of Dwarka, and then they found it in the off the coast of India. It's in the ocean there, and it corroborates with the way it's been written. So they're dating it to somewhere between around 13,000 years ago.
Well, that one in Japan, they said it's ruins of a 5,000 year old city, or they don't know if it's natural formations. That's the controversy over.
The one under the ocean.
Yeah, the underwater one.
That's got to be older than 5,000 years ago, man. That's just these idiots are saying that.
So then we are offering another explanation.
It's megalithic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know it's megalithic, but to them they'd say it's a natural formation.
Yeah. I've seen the video and the picture footage, man. Like anyone will tell you, you don't get those 90-degree angles, and many of them in steps and shapes, like that you can tell it was a huge platform, man.
It positioned in certain places as well.
Yeah, it's a huge base, some sort of a naval base, perhaps ancient naval base. It was massive.
Yeah, I think the other one is the same. I'm talking about the same ones, but the other theory on it is they're about at least 10,000 year old.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I was saying it's older than 5,000 years old. Because now they found that place in Turkey, Biblioteki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which they're kind of some people are linking that to the story of Noah as well. And they're dating that to about 12,000 years ago.
Mm.
And the last big flood we had was about 13,000 years ago. So all these things kind of match up.
Well, you can match that in with the last so-called, what the scientists say, Ice Age, which was 21,000 years ago it started, and it ended 11,500 years ago.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, actually, the downs where I am, which are hills which stretch from where I am all the way into to Dorset, which covers almost 3 counties, that was supposedly formed by the last ice age. Well, an ice age. So if you even take the last one, between 21,000 and 11,000 years ago, you walk a whole length of those, and you're talking about hundreds and thousands of square miles.
And stuff between the ice ages as well, right?
You won't find no pyramid on them. You know what I mean? You won't find.
And stuff happened between the ice ages as well.
Yeah.
So that's another it's a lot deeper than people think. And by the way, they say Stonehenge is quite really old as well. It's a lot older than what they're telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into Stonehenge. I've looked up, researched that quite a lot. I'd say Stonehenge is possibly, for the beginners course, it's really just study on the Stonehenge alone. You can learn just as much, from that one thing without even touching anything else.
Well, yeah, because a lot of things stem up from that, doesn't
Well, I mean, you know what? If it wasn't for the fact that Stonehenge is still there today, that we might not have ever known to possibly think of a similar, to search or to find a similar structure. for example, the one that Michael Tellinger found in South Africa and stuff. Because if you never find one like in its intact state, you know what I mean? You got to have at least one to reference by. Otherwise, you would never be looking for it.
No.
So now like more and more are popping up. People know what to look for.
Yeah, well, there's Stonehenge is obviously the most popular one, but there's tons throughout the UK, but there's loads and loads of them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
and there's probably tons buried.
Yeah.
Is my point. So they would know that. Oh, hey, I think we found another one now.
Yeah.
But Plato said Atlantis is, in the Atlantic Ocean there. So it's quite possible that Stonehenge was built by the Atlanteans. In fact, that would be, the most obvious and best guess by anybody. Because there were many more islands there that are now gone.
Are you with Atlantis? I mean, not everybody. I mean, a lot of the theory is it was somewhere in the North Atlantic Ridge. Is that right, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he even drew a picture of it.
Yeah.
Plato. And he a little map type thing. And if you go on Google Earth right now or Google Maps and go look at the Atlantic Ocean, you'll see that white ridge right in the middle between North America and Europe and North Africa. You'll see this huge little white mass just underneath the ocean. The exact same shape.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, man. Like people were debating this 20 or 30 years ago, or maybe a little longer than that, but when Google Maps came out, it was like, holy shit, look at that. Everyone could see it. You look at the island, the Azore Islands and stuff, they're not far away. They're just the little ones that are left. The other ones are all gone now, or buried.
What there is on the South Downs here, called South Downs, it's riddled with what they call tumulus or tumuli. Now, the academics and the early archaeologists absolutely just dug into these mounds. The little mounds, there can be anything from about, I guess, 12-foot round, square, to 100-foot round square. And they called them tumuli or tumulus, meaning ancient burial grounds, But there's tons of those on there. But the archaeologists dug, the early archaeologists of the 19th century, 1800s and that, which were basically nothing but legalised grave robbers. Yeah, that's what they were. Legalised grave robbers, really. That's all they were, Bob. Most of the tumuli or the mounds didn't contain absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Some contained some skeletal material and the odd Roman coin and things like that. But I think that's just coincidence, because across there, if you was to, if you could ever dig down to the chalk level, the whole of the dams, you'd have more Roman coins than fiat currency in the United States, because it was so plentiful and used. But my point is, just like the bogus Egyptian, pyramids with the Egyptian tombs and whatever, it's very much on a small scale with these so-called ancient burial mounds, or tumulus as they call them, because you know,
Yeah. There's a similar thing in other parts of Europe as well, Andy, and Central Asia. They call them kurgans.
All right.
Burial mounds, basically, just like you said.
Yeah.
And that's typically what historians call a structure, a hilly man-made structure,
Yeah.
because they have no other explanation. So they keep continuing with the story that they're burials. Everything's a burial, Andy.
I know.
Everything you find, hey, you don't kill in your backyard, yeah, that's a burial.
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to, you know,
Talk about quackery.
almost everyone around most of the downs, you'll find a little divot in the little section where these guys just went in with spades and then just dug a great big trench for it to see if they could find some goodies.
Body snatching.
And things like that, you know.
Oh, they're always looking for some gold, Andy.
Is that what he dubbed as body snatching, isn't it?
Well, that's what they were just legalised grave robbers, the early archaeologists.
Yeah.
They even admit it now, you know? The Victorian world, up to the Victorian times.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
A lot of people used to take like your lucky charm, you know, and they would put it on in your grave with you type thing. It was very rarely something of any kind of value, but you know, it was just like rocks and personal kind of stuff like that or something. I don't know.
But
a thief is a thief, right? Like they say, a dumb thief is the worst thief.
Yeah.
No, but they did used to steal the bodies before, you know. I think Anatomy Act, what's that, 1800 and something?
Oh yeah, that was only that wasn't for a long time though.
These guys were after treasures, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they were after treasures.
They were pirates, you know.
Wanted gem or, you know, gold or silver.
Yeah.
They went with the intention to rob the dead.
Mind you, even bronze and like iron would have had a value back then because it wasn't, you know.
No, but what I'm saying in UK is they used to use people like that for like anatomical purposes. But now before they used to use like those who were condemned to death. Do you know what I mean? Who were being punished? They'd use them.
Now you sign your little thing on the back of your driver's license, PJ, and you say, yeah, if I get into, if I die in an accident or something,
yeah, that's
I'm
what
willing to donate my organs.
Now you can donate it, gladly donate.
Well, actually, Bob, the sad thing about that and the criminality that runs right through the society here and everywhere else is they don't even do that now, they just take it.
Yeah, I believe they do. I don't think they even.
Well, look at the fetal stuff for the vaccinations.
Most of it comes out here anyway, regardless on how you died.
Yeah, but that was a big scandal in one of the hospitals down here, and these people found
that practice will basically be obsolete anyway, because they're going to be doing like some major stuff with stem cells. Which is way better anyway.
Yeah. I don't know a great deal about that, but...
Andy, they can basically grow your own.
Oh, yes. I know what the stem cells is, but I mean, I'm not into the process on, it's because I've got somebody in the family who's just had that done for cancer treatment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's not always successful, obviously.
Well, it's fairly new stuff, isn't it?
It's fairly good, but then to make the stem cells, I mean, I don't know. Tell me, is embryos involved here?
No, shouldn't be.
No, not that I know of, but I don't know as much as, you know.
Stuff I'm talking. I'm not even. I didn't even know about this cancer stuff. Wow, man, they come up with new ones every day. But the ones I'm talking about is they take your stem cell from, like, let's say your liver.
Yeah.
And then they put it in a culture and they'll let it multiply on its own. And so therefore they can regrow organs and stuff now. In the future, that's what they'll be doing. They can regrow your heart, your lung, your liver, your everything. They just need a little bit of a culture sample, and it'll be your own. It's like, it is natural, it is organic. So
they found a reservoir.
So far, I like it anyway.
They found a reservoir of stem cells within the eye, and they think that could, you know, be a good cure for blind.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. Yeah, we've only begun.
And they did it for diabetes as well. They found same, you know, principle working on available for those with diabetes.
And you know, there'll be a lot of good things that come with this, and there'll be some bad things because, you know, it'll be controlled and manipulated.
Yeah.
So be warned.
Well, by then it'll all be for profit, won't it? So
exactly.
So much to say.
No, there's some other. Some type of cloning, wasn't it? Oh. Because there was a big ethical, or you tried IVF, that was a big ethic. Yeah. I don't keep up too much with that. I'm aware of what it's about, but thing is, if the stem cells, that's okay if you need to replace or a part that's been damaged or anything, but if your body's riddled with disease, is the stem cell going to help you?
No, but maybe they can find somebody with the same blood type and everything, and use their stem cell type thing.
Yeah. It all comes back to the immune system, doesn't it?
Well, Bill Donahue says because everybody's got a twin, you know, when he talks about it all. And I've heard somebody else who will say exactly the same thing. So even if you've not got it, there's always a chance that even if you've not preserved them at a young age, where you've had them preserved, you can still find a way of getting around it.
I don't get that. You would have thought it would have been the other way around. So they half kill you with chemo to harvest stem cells. That don't make any sense. It's in its infancy anyway, isn't it? It's still in its infancy, let's say, you know. But of course, they can't patent this. How can they patent somebody else's stem cell? Can they?
Say again, Eddie?
But I can't see the pharmaceutical. I can't see the medical. The side of medical business or whatever, pushing it too hard, because, I mean, how do you patent that? If it's it's not exactly a drug, is it? You can't sort of claim ownership of it like they tend to want to do, like they do with all the pharma stuff.
No, but by that point, Andy, what you'd do is you'd be able to know how to use it, and you wouldn't need to patent it. Basically, what you'd do is you'd be the one in control of all the data, so you'd know exactly who needs what. Do you know what I mean?
What's the doctor's name? Bruce Lipton or something like that?
Not Bruce Lipton. No.
He's the one who discovered it. And he's pretty famous, and he's still alive. So
Well, I think it'd be down for profit, and they'd be able to, you know, they'd be able to say who gets it.
He's sharp on these kind of like, you know.
I'm just a bit.
Best known for promoting the idea that genes and DNA can be manipulated by a person's beliefs.
That's right. That's the guy.
Yeah, I'm just a bit sceptical that, you know...
He's 70-year-old.
All I am is about it all is I'm a bit sceptical about it, as you should be, because, you know, if it's for the... It's not really going to help the powers that be, is it? You know, it doesn't pay them, or it doesn't...
Of course it pays them, Andy, because they've got control of who they decide gets this treatment.
Well, the thing is like, we're going to need doctors in hospitals and all that jazz to make use of this all. So it could be a good thing. For once, the government can be you know, making an honest living.
Well, I won't open breath, but I'm not going to say it's not possible because I have an open mind, and but I mean, yeah.
On both sides of the scale, it's, you know, it's all on what they decide to do. You can give them as many, you know, options available, but it's what they decide to do.
I know this guy. He's got some dough, right? He's a real estate guy or whatever, and he went to Turkey to have a hair transplant done.
Oh.
And they take hair from, I don't know, from other parts of your body, and then they regrow more hair or something like that, and then they put it back in your head. And so I think that's got something to do with it as well. But so they can do that kind of stuff now.
So then, Andy.
Yes, DJ.
I did want to talk about the Freedom Summits, as I said earlier.
Right.
And as we were speaking about that live stream.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually looking at the website, freedomsummits.org.
Yeah, I went on there, yeah.
And I scrolled to the bottom, and guess what?
That's a picture of Kim Kardashian.
No.
Oh, I'm joking.
It says, watch Brisbane Freedom Summits live, 22nd and 23rd of November. And guess where it says at the right of it?
What?
Pay for view.
Oh, you're having a giraffe, aren't you?
Well, I just thought I'd mention it as what you said earlier on about the $70 thing. 2 days of amazing information, all $149.
Told you it was a lot of money.
Yeah. So I wonder how much it is to view it.
It's going to be a tenner or a fiver, isn't it, at least, I would say. I mean, how much was David Icke's Wembley viewing? That was on subscription, wasn't it, pay-per-view?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you might have. You know, that's really just, I don't care how you look at it. It don't work. Don't work with me, PJ. I can't have it, you know. I'm sorry.
Do you know why I don't like it? Because it doesn't work for it doesn't really work for those that are doing it.
No, that's what I mean.
Because you're basing it on dependent of having something of the need of something. Whereas the minute you do that, you're vulnerable.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's like asking Jacob Marley to take the chains off his back, but he'll only do it if you give him some money. You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's a bit different. I wouldn't really put it in that, because at least these guys have, you know, they've made it. They've got something to show before they've asked. Do you know what I mean? I mean, before with David Icke, he did it the other way around, did he?
It's fiat currency. It's fiat currency, PJ.
Hmm.
It's the thing they're fighting against, surely. Or is it not? Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm at a different angle or different. I don't know. But if you want to change the system, it's no good promoting it, is it? I mean, what? Yeah, I don't get it. I never have. I won't ever get it. You know? Why don't they just? I mean,
is it necessary?
Well, I suppose
for a not-profits organisation, is it necessary?
No. No. No, it's not. No, it's not. Listen, if they were a political party going to stand in the current corrupt system, I think they're going to try and do something. I understand that. That's fine. That's fine. But you ain't going to get change unless everything changes. Everything changes. Yeah. So I can't be having that. I think if people are going to promote themselves and they want fiat currency for it, then look for something, you know, that's within the system and not against it. But then fair enough, if that's what people want to do. You know. I know people have got to catch planes to Australia from Europe, speakers and all this sort of business. But then that should be up to the organisers to work that out, whichever way.
Well, how did Marco Polo get around?
Exactly. I have this doing band work for charities, but when I looked into the charities, and when I actually saw the stinking little tiny amount of money that went to the people on the ground, compared to all the administration bollocks, it wasn't even 5%, PJ.
Yeah.
That's why I have nothing to do with charities whatsoever. Not ones that are set up as ORGs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be a charity unless you register as a charity, can you? So there you go. That's a shame. Pay-per-view. Well, they could have at least streamed it for free. I mean, what's the harm there, PJ?
I don't know how they're going to raise awareness if they're doing that. But anyway, I'm sure there'll be somebody out there who probably will pay for it and they'll stream it out themselves. Hopefully.
They may get stopped.
They may do, but as yet I've not come across any other links or anything. So I guess we're going to have to resort to coughing up, I'm afraid, guys. Either that or we'll watch it sometime next year.
Wait for it to come out on YouTube next year.
Yeah.
But then I may watch it. I don't know. I really don't know.
But if people who know about it, who are fully aware of it, can't still get to watch it, then how's that raising awareness to those that ain't got a clue it even exists? If we can't do it, how's anybody else meant to do it?
I did.
No. Yeah.
I know. It just kills it. It just absolutely shoots it. It just kills it.
Well, we've done our part. We've mentioned it.
Listen, yeah, absolutely, PJ. Listen, every individual has got to feed themselves. I understand that and I accept that. All right, but you don't use
It's not for profits. It's not for profits. It's not for feeding your kids or putting food on the table.
No, that's what I mean.
The only food you're putting on the table is, you know, the mankind's table, the plate of everybody's.
Yeah.
And the only thing that needs doing when you've done that is people to come and eat it.
Yeah. That's it. And it's not the actual, you know, the promissory note, fiat currency, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I quit all that for the money. The money, right? Call it what people think it is. It's not the actual amount or the money. It's the principle. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. If somebody can come on there and one day and explain to me that you can use the system to change the system.
Well, let's use this last 15 minutes of this show to talk about that, shall we? We'll move on from Freedom Summits. So we're only going to make it an hour, this one.
I haven't really. All I can say is, I don't get it.
Yeah, same here. I'll second that. What about you, Bok?
What's that?
What's your thoughts on the Freedom Summit's event?
Yeah, I'm basically with you guys. I don't know that much to have a, yeah.
Well, it's basically Freedom Summits is to make awareness of what's going on in the world and waking up, really, right? But they're charging people $130 for the weekend's admission, and they're actually pay-per-view on the video if you want to watch it online. I just don't get it. Do you, Bob?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But to use a platform and media and to rent a space and all that, I can see where they might want to. I mean, that does seem to be quite a bit of money. It's not just like, you're going to see a movie. $100 and some bucks. So it's kind of like it becomes a privilege.
See, the thing is, those people who do the Freedom Summit, the speakers, are going to turn around and say, well, look, guys, we didn't make nothing. It actually didn't even cost our...
Well, you can also look at it this way. Everything you need to really know is actually out there now. Like when they say the truth is out there, it is, it's out there.
Yeah.
And if these people can't find it, well then, you know what, maybe it's justified that they have to pay someone to show them. Look at it that way.
But Bok, we know about this Freedom Summit, right, and we can't even get to watch it. So for somebody who hasn't got a clue, who doesn't know where the truth is, or, even if they are there for him, are they meant to get anywhere with these restrictions put in place? Does that make sense?
Not to me, it doesn't. I don't think that they know anything that other people don't already know. This is the day and age of the internet. Word travels at the click of a button. Information gets around pretty quick now.
Well, I ain't even seen what the talks are about, so I don't know what information they're putting out.
To be honest with you, I don't even know how they can justify charging anyone. It's just like I said, all the information is out there now.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
How much was it for the weekend book, PJ?
130, I think he said.
I can't. Yeah, I can. It's about $140, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, around that.
Would it? Well, that's going to be.
But that's fine. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a.
They said they had 100 at the last place for the weekend. That's 14 grand.
Well, regardless, if the limited to amount of people they can get in, then fair enough. But this streaming business does not need to be, charged for. I don't get that. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not bothered about this event where what they've hired. Fair enough.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I just, I've done a very quick math, but I mean, that's just. But I don't give a shit. It's kind of putting a spoke. It's kind of sticking a sticking a stick in their own bicycle wheel. I mean, you know, why? It's stopping, like you say, it's stopping people that would otherwise be interested from going along. Surely.
They've bit off more than can chew, in my opinion, by doing it.
I mean, I couldn't afford to pay that to go for the weekend.
No.
Even though, you know, even if I really wanted to go, and it was, you know, I wouldn't do it under the principle anyway, but the fact of the matter is...
I mean, put it this way: if somebody you knew had tons of money, like money wasn't the issue, and they said, you know, I heard about this thing here. Do you think I should go? Like, you know, you would probably say, like, don't waste your time and money. Like, what do you want to know?
Exactly.
Here, go look over here. Go look over here. Go read this. Go check that out. I mean, they're what do you exactly like? So. Well, like I said, but the thing is, this might actually be a good thing, you know, in a blessing in disguise, in a way that, you know, the common person that you and I and some other people cannot talk with, because they're just, you know, they're so inside the box that they just refuse to listen to anything you have to say. But then again, something like this takes place, and you know how a hype is created, you know what I mean? And that's a trend or a hype, and that's what society runs on now. So maybe that's what it would take to get them involved, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
And in this modern day of business, man, I know this for a fact, where if you only charge someone like 15 or 20 bucks, some of these people, honestly, not myself, but a lot of these people look at it and go, you know what, if it's only 15 bucks, it can't be any good. Now, if these guys come out and charge 150, they go, hey, maybe this is good. Maybe we should check it out. Seriously, there's a lot of dumb psychology like that these days.
Yeah. Well, moving on then. Moving on for the last 9 minutes.
Oh, precious 9 minutes. The magic number 9.
The magic number 9. What we're going to squeeze in for the mind of the listeners.
Entertain the thought, isn't it? Isn't it the entertain the thought?
It normally is.
Hey, I heard today something you mentioned yesterday about the polar vortex.
Yes.
They said there has always been a vortex.
Yeah.
It's just that lately, it's been extending its zone a little bit.
Ah.
That's what's been happening.
Ah.
So it's you know, it retracts and then it expands, retracts, expands, exactly like a vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I guess not in a weather pattern way, but you know, if you want to see a aurora borealis, you know, you've either got to be on the North Pole or the South Pole to get, because it only really, very rarely does it come down to low latitude, depending on a solar storm. But if you want to see that, it's only going to be around the polar regions, and it's always been there. It's a phenomenon that happens, but you ain't going to see it much. Well, you're never going to see it on the equator if you live on the equator. So it's all to do with where you're positioned in the globe, and like you say about that weather pattern, which is a vortex that's always up there. But the fact of the matter is, it's slipped or it's extended further down from the north than what it normally is. Shifting. Yeah. I mean, but this is cyclical, isn't it? Maybe it does it every 1,000 years or 100,000 years. Who knows? I mean, there's lots of cyclical things that will probably, you know, cause quite, you know, big catastrophes every 1,000, 2,000 years. Nobody knows, do they? Everything's cyclical, isn't it? I think.
Oh, for sure, sure is.
Yeah.
Everything's spinning. Everything has a cycle.
Yeah. So, the polar vortex. But it's a bit like the trade winds, isn't it? You know, I mean, there are what they call the doldrums now and then, where there's no winds, and they, you know, periods of where the Europeans used to cross the Atlantic and Vicky Verkin come back on the trade winds, which is part of the Gulf Stream. There were certain periods where you got caught, they called it the doldrums, where there was a high pressure and there was no wind, and they were just stuck in the middle of the Atlantic, and so they had to wait for the trade winds to pick up again. So, you know, these are the areas of the globe where these things happen quite naturally and occur all the time. So, yeah, interesting book, nevertheless.
Well, the ancient mariners surely knew more the, you know, the wind and the weather patterns and the currents and everything.
Well,
and the cyclical calendar, not just our, you know, not just our modern calendar.
No.
See, that's why their calendars are more complicated, because they really could think of time in a lot further of a span.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at us. It took us to invent computers and everything in order to start calculate, you know, the amount of time it would take for certain events to take place. Before that, for hundreds of years, we weren't even thinking of such things.
No.
Say, oh, how long would it have taken for this, you know, for this deforestation to have taken place, and how long would it take for this, you know, for it to come back around, and all these kind of things. Like, you know, now they can figure this stuff out, but.
Well, it's just mathematical formula calculations. I mean, a computer just, you know, as technology goes.
Yeah. But I mean, they could take it beyond the hundredths and the thousandths. You know what I mean? They could take it to where they need it to go.
Yes, the faster the processor, you know, then the quicker the amount of thousands of calculations and more calculations the computer can make, and that's all it is. But it's amazing, really.
Yeah, exactly. I know, and that was my point. Was saying, like, the ancients were a lot further in these kind of science.
Yeah.
And you know, they wouldn't have needed a guy like Einstein to figure it all out. You know.
They already had, you know, decent RAMs back then. It's nowadays everybody's RAM's being degraded.
Yeah. So it's probably run out of time, but let's have a chat about what you guys think about this age of Aquarius, the galactical equal lateral plane, and maybe we could get a discussion going on that. You know, that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to hear individuals' thoughts on it, because they probably might be different. I think most people are about it. Certainly NASA just, if you used to try and get something from NASA about it, they go, oh, it's nothing. In actual fact, we're not going through it, so.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll get some more together and have a good chat about it all.
Yeah, I mean, you man.
I think the answer is within the old, you know, Hermetic, alchemy, tarot type of things to understand.
Yeah.
You know, because they're the ones to talk about astronomy and stuff like that. You know, you'd have to go talk to one of those people.
Yeah.
Because they think on a totally different level than we do.
Yeah.
You know, for them, everything is cosmically related. You see, whereas we're only going to think cosmically if we're talking about space or the stars or something like that.
I'll have a look around.
Generally speaking.
I'll try and invite a guest on show who deals with that sort of stuff, if I can find anyone.
So you know, that was a good question, Andy, because that made me think of like Aquarius, and maybe there's some information on Aquarius through, you know, the tarot or the zodiac or something like that. And I think that would give us a better understanding of the nature of Aquarius.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's.
I mean, and there's no way that NASA could ever know. unless they're around for another 200,000 years.
Let's take an educated.
You know, to witness the complete cycle, or whatever, it's 26,000 years maybe.
Yeah. Well, they weren't about 26,000 years ago, were they?
Yeah. and then again, that might only be part of a cycle.
A cycle within a cycle within a cycle within a cycle.
It's only going to get bigger, isn't it?
Yeah. Smashing, you know, the halogen collider, whatever it is, smashing particles to reveal, oh, there's more particles. Smashing.
Aquarius in Latin stands for water carrier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's known as the water bearer, I believe.
Yeah.
So what that will only stop with the halogen collider. Sorry, I thought you. That will only stop when the particles are so small that they can't measure them. When does that stop? It doesn't, does it, Brock? Or when does the project stop?
Sorry, I'm not following that.
Well, you know, they're smashing atoms against each other, aren't they, to try and find the
Oh, right, yeah.
Higgs boson and the rest of it. But they keep smashing these atoms and finding more atoms. Smashing particles and finding more atoms. I'm just finding that there's a load more atoms. So they're going to smash them. You know, my theory is it just goes, like a lot of people's, it's quite a few, is that it's just infinite.
Well,
quite possibly. I mean, what else could it be?
Exactly. They want to find the last one, and you can't divide it anymore or smash it.
Because, like, I mean, just like ancient philosophy, where if you drop a drop of water over here on this side of the pool,
yeah.
The other side of that little pool, the water is gonna, pop up a little bit. So, like, every time you split that atom, it's gonna already create another little one in a shell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just going to keep, and it's just going to, like you said, the process will just continue.
Yeah. And it'll only stop when the...
They're trying to understand the fourth and the fifth dimension, and this is it's just the wrong way of going about it. Because they're dealing with it on a linear level.
Yeah.
They don't understand where that other half goes.
yeah. Well,
What we call hyperspace or fifth dimension, or,
How many dimensions is there, Brock?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's debatable. I think some people have written about it. Some people say 7 or 12 or...
I mean, but can that not be infinite?
You know what? That would be my guess.
I think it will probably have something more to do with... I mean, this is just out of my head. This is what it should be all about, actually. Free thinking and open-mindedness should be...
Well, don't leave it. Let's leave them on cliffhanger for next show.
Right, well, anyway, we'll get more into that. Anyway, that's the entertainer thought. How many dimensions are there? How many... Is it infinite?
Yeah, we'll come back and see.
Yeah.
So until next time, guys, please do join us back. We'll be talking about more stuff, giving you more information about the recent events of certain things, and just, exploring the unrevealed thoughts, the unforeseen things that come into our little minds. Be sure to join and tune in. But until next time, from myself, Andy and Bok, we'll catch you later. Take care.